morning, students. So as a part of embedded Linux, I'm posting my next video. So I'm Dr. V Padmajodi. As a part of the previous video, that is embedded Linux, I'm posting the continuation of that video. So that is based upon Linux programming fundamentals. So in the fundamentals, the first thing will be the shell programming or shell scripting, revision on C with respect to GNU C compiler, editing source code in C with gedit or IDE, compiling and building executable, introduction to GDB, running the program on terminal using GDB, GNU tool chain, introduction and installation, introduction to Git repository, cloning files from GitHub, Git essentials, advanced Git features, and programming using GitHub. So in that first video, so I'm going to discuss about the shell programming. So before going into the shell programming, so what is the kernel? So what is the terminology it is used in the shell scripting that we have to see. So what is the kernel? The kernel is a computer program that is the core of a computer's operating system with complete control over everything in the system. So that operating system, so that is your computer operating system, that is the thing that is operating your computer or the processor. So the kernel, it manages the following resources of the Linux system: file management, process management, IO management, memory management, and device management. So what is a shell? A shell is a special user program that provides an interface for the user to use operating system services. So it is a special user program. So it will be acting like an interface between the user and the operating system services. So that is your kernel, between a user and kernel. So it will be acting like an interface. So shell accepts human readable commands from users and converts them into something which the kernel can understand. So it is a command language interpreter that executes commands read from the input devices such as keyboards or from files. The shell gets started when the user logs in or starts the terminal. So this is a diagram explaining your that is a shell. So the shell, it will be acting like an interface between the user and the kernel. So this kernel, that will be the having the complete control of your hardware, that is your operating system. So your shell, it will be acting like an interface between your user and the kernel. So various shell that is available, that is our bash shell. SH is the initially developed shell. So following that, bash shell, KSH, and C shell. These are the various shells there. So and based up the user utilities, that is your editors. User can able to write the program. So VA editor, nano editor, gedit, cat, and this ls. These are all the some of the utilities user can able to use. So the shell is broadly classified into two categories: command line shell and graphical shell. So command line shell can be accessed by users using a command line interface. So a special program called terminal in Linux or Mac OS or the command prompt in Windows OS is provided to type in the human readable commands such as cat, ls. So ls means listing all the files, and cat means it is a concatenated version of the file. So and then it is being executed. So that is your shell, it can be accessed by the users using a command line interface. So that is a special program called as terminal. When you are opening your so as I already told you, you have to, so to use your Linux, you have to install your any virtual machine. So either VMware or Oracle, any other virtual machine, first you have to install, and any one distro you have to install. So either Red Hat Linux or Ubuntu Linux, any one you have to install. So after installing, so for your virtual machine to run, you need a OS. So that OS, again for to running the OS, you have to install this any one distribution, your Red Hat Linux or Ubuntu or any other distribution you can download. So here from there, how you can access a special program called as terminal in the Linux or the Mac OS, or command prompt in Windows OS is provided to type in the human readable commands. So the result is then displayed on the terminal to the user. So the command line interface allows the user to store commands in a file and execute them together. So this way any repetitive task, it can be easily automated. For example, as a system administrator, in a daily routine you have to execute some the following commands, that all the commands you can put together in a script, shell script, and you can save it as .sh file, and you can make you can execute the shell file, you can make the shell file executable, and you can run it daily. Instead of typing all the 10 to 15 commands, you can just run one shell script and you can make the work easier as a system administrator. So these files, this way any repetitive task can be easily automated. These files are usually called as batch files in Windows and shell scripts in Linux or Mac OS systems. So the graphical cells provide means for manipulating programs based on the graphical user interface. So by allowing for operations such as opening, closing, moving and resizing windows, as well as switching focus between the windows. So there are several shells available for the Linux system. So the first thing will be the SH shell. So that is the very first shell that is used that is by the Linux users. So later that is a bash shell, that is your born again shell, that is the expansion of this bash, born again shell. It is the most widely used shell in Linux systems. It is used as a default login shell in Linux system and in Mac OS. Can also be installed on Windows OS. So C shell, the C shell syntax and its usage are very similar to the C programming language. KSH, that is Korn shell. The Korn shell was also the base for the POSIX shell standard specifications. So what is a terminal? So as I already told you, a program which is responsible for providing an interface to the user so that he or she can access the shell or your Linux OS. So it basically allows the users to enter commands and see the output of those commands in a text-based interface. So the large scripts that are written to automate and perform complex tasks are executed in the terminal. So shells are interactive, which means they accept commands as input from the users and execute them. However, sometimes we want to execute a bunch of commands routinely, so we have to type in all the commands each time in the terminal. As a shell can also take commands as input, and we can write these commands in a file and we can execute in shell to avoid the repetitive work. These are called the shell scripts or shell programs. So shell scripts are very similar to the batch file in MS-DOS. Each shell script is saved with .sh file extension. So for example, the name of the shell script is myscript, means you have to save it myscript.sh. A shell script has syntax just like any other programming language. So why do we need shell scripts? There are many reasons to write the shell scripts: to avoid repetitive work and automation. System admins use shell scripting for routine backups, system monitoring, adding new functionality to the shell. Some advantages of shell scripts: the command and syntax are exactly the same as those directly entered in the command line. So programmers do not need to switch to entirely different syntax. Writing shell scripts are much quicker and quick to start and interactive debugging. These are some of the advantages. Some of the disadvantages is it's prone to costly errors even if you made a single mistake, which might be harmful for the entire thing. So slow execution speed. So it doesn't provide any other that C++, that is your object oriented programming and all. So design flaws within the language syntax or implementation. So it is not well suited for the very large or complex tasks. Provide minimum data structure unlike other scripting languages. So defining the shell script interpreter. There are many shells available in Linux such as Bourne shell, Korn shell and GNU Bourne shell. So scripts written for SH shell, they are called as shell scripts, and they can be interpreted by both KSH and bash. KSH and bash are the improved version of the original SH shell, and they have more features than SH. Bash is generally the default shell in most of the Linux distributions, and scripts written specifically for bash shell are called bash. So you can specify which shell the script will use even if the script is executed from another shell. So to do this, the first line of your shell script, it should be ash explanatory mark /bin /bash. So this line they will be generally calling the shebang line. So for any shell script you are writing, the first line you have to include in the shell programming is ash explanatory mark /bin /bash. If you are using sh shell means then you have to use /bin /sh. If you are using bash shell means you have to use /bin /bash. If you are using ksh con shell means then /bin ksh. So like this, and for a default shell in any distribution, the default shell provided will be the sh shell. That is the very first shell that is provided by the Linux. So and if you are using any other shell means that shell corresponding shell you have to install it, and then you have to execute the shell script in that shell. So this is the first line. That line you will be calling it as a shebang line. So and this will work only if bash shell is installed on your system. So the first line, that will be the thing. The next thing is, after writing the few lines in your script, you have to make the shell script executable. How to make the shell script executable in Linux? So for that, what command you will be using is chmod. So ch denotes for change. So that is your permission, change permissions. So that is change mode. So the chmod command is used to change the access mode of your file. So the name is an abbreviation of change mode. So there are two ways to change that is access mode of your file. One is a symbolic mode, another one is a octal mode. So in symbolic mode means you will be using the letters and operators. For example, to make the file readable by all the people means then you can make it as R plus. So to remove the read permission means then R minus. So like that you will be using your letters and operators. To make it executable means you will be using X. Minus means to remove the permissions. Equal to means set the permissions to the specified values. So and for the group, for U means that is for the user or owner. G means for the group and O means others. A means for all, owner or user, group and others. So example of using the symbolic mode. So you will be using the command chmod command change mode. So you want make the file owner to read, write and execute the file. Then you have to use in symbolic representation changing the mode. You will be using U plus. To add the permission you will be using the symbol plus. To remove the permission you will be using the symbol minus. So to add the permission, so plus for the user you are providing read permission, write permission and execute permission of the file. So this is what you will be using your read, write and execute permissions to the file owner. So and another example, so to remove the write permission for the group, so and others. So for that you will be using chmod command. So what is the letters you have to use? For the group means G, for all others means, for others means O. So you have to remove the write permission. So minus write permission W. So this is the command you have to use for to remove the write permission of the group and others in the shell scripting. So to read and write for the owner, to read only for the group and other. So to read and write for the owner. So that is your owner means you. So you have to add read and write permission. So plus RW. And for the group read only. So plus R, that is your command. So your chmod. So this is your command and this is the file name. So this is how symbolic way you will be changing the permission of your file. So in the octal mode you will be using three numbers 754. So that is your 3-digit number you will be using. So first digit specify the permission of the owner, second digit specify the permission of the group, and third digit specify the permission of others. So here you will be using 3 numbers, that is the value is, it will be 1, 2 and 4. So 4 means it's a read permission, 2 means write permission, 1 means execute permission. So example of using one, we will see one example for using the, that is your file permission using the octal mode. So you will be using the command chmod. So what is the number? So value here you will be giving us, that is 674. So I already told you. So the first number it denotes the permission or owner. Second number it denotes a permission for group. Third number it specify the permission for others. So this 6 it denotes the permission for owner. So 6 means what? So owner is having, that is 4 plus 2 in the octal. So it is 4 plus 2. So it will be the owner is having the permission to read and write this file. So next digit is the permission for the group. So 7. So it will be 4 plus 2 plus 1. That will be the 7. So the group it is having all the permissions, read, write and execute permission. The next digit will be 4. So the next digit it is for others. For the others they will be having only read permission. So this is the why you will be setting the permission. You will be setting the permission of your file in Linux. So executing the shell scripts in the Linux. So to create a file in Linux, you will need a text editor. You can use any text editor, as in the previous slide I had shown you. So here these are all the, this is your thing. So the entire hardware around that you will be having the kernel, that is your operating system. Over that you will be having the shell. So bash shell, C shell, K shell, corn shell. So over that you will be having the editors. User will be using these editors, VI editor, cat or nano editor, Vim editor, gedit, all the editors they will be using. So you need an editor to write the shell script. So to create a script file in Linux, you will need a text editor. Ubuntu for instance comes with several pre-installed editors such as Nano, Vim. So for the purpose of this tutorial, so we will be using the Nano editor. So open the terminal application in Linux, launch the Nano editor and create our first script file, that is demo.sh. So you will be opening this Nano editor. So here and creating a first shell script, that is demo.sh. So now the below screen is open, this black color screen. Now in this type the few lines, that is the first line of the shell script, as I already told you, it should be # explanatory mark /bin/ what is the shell you are using. So the default shell provided by any Linux distribution will be the sh shell. So /bin/ sh. So following that you can write your scripts. So script line. So now I am using only one program, one line program, that is echo srm. Echo, what is the echo command? It will be just displaying whatever the thing followed by the command. So echo srm. So now I am just typing this in the Nano editor. So now after writing the script, you will need to save the script. For each editor you will be having a separate set of commands. So for this Nano editor, to do this, to save this, you have to save this shell script, you have to press Ctrl+O to save the script and then enter. So if you are entering, so here it will be coming like this, file name to write demo.sh. Now to come out of the Nano editor, that is to go to the terminal window, that is command line. So you will have to press Ctrl+X to exit the Nano editor. So now if you are pressing, so it will be coming out. So now you have written one shell script, that is demo.sh, using the Nano, that is open a Nano editor and write a shell program. The name of the shell program is demo.sh. Now you have to make the shell program executable. So for that, which command you will be using is chmod. So chmod, so here you are using the plus command. So that is your plus. X means it should be executable. So executable. So that is here they are not mentioned for this. So for the user. So demo.sh. So you are making the shell script executable. Now you have to, so now this if you are making it executable, the output of this, it will be, so you have to see the output of the file. So for that you have to run the shell script. So under the root only, so all the things you are writing executing will be placed under the root directory. So under the root, that is your dot slash, you have to write the file name. So under the root, so that is you are executing the file. So if you are executing, so what is the file it is doing? So only I written a one line shell script. What is this shell script is hash explanatory mark slash bin slash sh and echo srm. So it is just displaying the value srm. So this is how you will be writing a shell script using an editor, Linux shell script using an any editor, either Nano or Vim. So any editor you can write it, and you have to make it executable, and you have to run it under root, so that your script will be executed and run. So this is this first part of this video. So the same thing here. So now I opened my virtual machine VMware installed in my laptop. Now I am switching on the power to this virtual machine, so that you for to run the, already I installed Ubuntu Linux distribution. So I am opening the Ubuntu. It's opening. I just opened my virtual machine installed in my laptop, and I am opening my Ubuntu. It's opening. So now so as I already told you, so the Linux, it is providing interface to the user to program, that is your terminal window. So this is your terminal window, just click on the terminal window. So it is providing a command line interface. Now using a Nano editor, I am typing my first shell script. So nano demo.sh. So I am typing my shell script, I am typing the code. So hash explanatory mark slash bin slash sh echo srm. So now to save it, Control O. So it is giving this file name, that is demo.sh. Press enter. So the file consists of 2 lines. First one will be the standard line for all your shell script, and second one is my program echo srm. Now to come out of this Nano editor, so press Ctrl X. So now came out of the Nano editor. Now you have to make the shell script executable. For that you will be using the command chmod demo.sh. So now I am making my shell script executable, that is chmod. So I have to make it executable, so I am using the symbolic way. I am making the file, that is as a plus executable X symbol. So now I am running the file under the root directory. So under dot slash demo.sh. So it is displaying SRM. So this is how you will be writing the shell script and running the shell script using Linux. So thank you for watching this video. So as a part of this continuation, again I'll be in the next part, I'll be taking you, so that is posting the video link, so how to edit and run the C program in the Linux.